Hi, I'm Mario. After 40 years running my own construction business and raising my son alone after my wife passed, I thought retirement would be peaceful. That changed when Anthony married Vanessa 3 years ago. Dad, we're here, Anthony called out as they walked through my front door for our monthly family dinner. Vanessa swept in wearing a smile that never reached her eyes. Your house looks different. Did you redecorate again? Must be nice having all that retirement money to spend. I forced a smile while setting up the bar cart. Just moved some furniture around, nothing expensive. Vanessa's parents, Margaret and Richard, arrived 15 minutes later. Good folks who'd somehow raised a daughter with the warmth of a rattlesnake. Sorry we're late, Margaret said, hugging me. Traffic was terrible downtown. While I mixed drinks, Vanessa cornered me in the kitchen. So, are you still managing your own finances? At your age, it must be getting complicated. I manage just fine. You know, Anthony and I could help. We should be added to your accounts just in case something happens. Nothing's happening to me anytime soon, I said, carrying the tray of drinks to the living room. Anthony was showing his latest architectural designs to Richard, completely oblivious. I caught Vanessa glancing at my pill organizer on the counter more than once. When I returned to the kitchen for ice, Vanessa was already there. Let me help with those drinks, she offered, a little too eagerly. I pretended to check something in the oven while watching her in the reflection of the microwave door. Quick as a snake, she pulled something from her purse and dropped it into my whiskey, stirring it with her finger. My heart hammered in my chest, but I kept my cool. Thanks for your help, I said, taking the tray. Of course, you know I care about you, Mario. Back in the living room, I distributed the drinks. Mine, the spiked whiskey, I kept on the tray. Before we drink, a toast, I announced, raising my glass. To family. To family, everyone echoed. During the confusion of clinking glasses, I smoothly set my drink down in front of Margaret and took hers instead. This dinner smells amazing, Richard said. Dad's famous lasagna, Anthony replied proudly. I watched as Margaret took a long sip of my whiskey. Across the room, Vanessa's eyes widened in horror. This is strong, Margaret said, her words already slightly slurred. What did you put in this, Mario? Just the usual, I replied, looking directly at Vanessa. Why don't you tell us what's in it? Margaret's eyes suddenly lost focus. I feel strange. Vanessa jumped up. Mom, are you okay? I took a casual sip of my untainted drink. Something wrong with her drink, Vanessa? You seemed pretty interested in it earlier. The color drained from Vanessa's face as Margaret slumped in her chair. Margaret slumped further in her chair, her glass slipping from her fingers and crashing to the floor. Someone call an ambulance, Richard shouted, rushing to his wife's side. Anthony grabbed his phone while Vanessa hovered nervously. What did you put in her drink, Dad? Vanessa suddenly accused, her voice shaking. You're the one who mixed the cocktails. I kept my cool. Interesting accusation, considering I saw you drop something in my whiskey earlier. That's ridiculous. Anthony, your father is confused again. Remember last month when he couldn't find his car keys in his own jacket pocket? The paramedics arrived within minutes, loading a barely conscious Margaret into the ambulance. At the hospital, we all crowded into the waiting room, tension thick enough to cut with a knife. The doctor wants to speak with the family, a nurse announced after 2 hours. Dr. Powell adjusted her glasses. We found a significant amount of sedatives in Margaret's system, specifically lorazepam. Does she take this medication regularly? Absolutely not, Richard answered firmly. Someone drugged my mother? Vanessa gasped dramatically. I crossed my arms. Interesting how concerned you are now, considering you were the one who tampered with my drink, which ended up in front of your mother. There you go again with these wild accusations. Anthony, your father needs help. I've noticed signs of confusion, paranoia, even hallucinations. Anthony looked torn. Dad, maybe we should get you checked out too. I'm not the one who needs checking, I snapped. Later that night, I called my sister. Elena, I need your help. Something seriously wrong is happening with Vanessa. I've never trusted that woman. What's she done now? The next morning, Elena showed up at my door with coffee and determination. Let's get to work. We started by checking my office, where Elena discovered several opened financial statements hidden under my desk blotter. I didn't put these here, I said, and look at these paper cuts on the envelope seals. Someone reopened them. Elena booted up my computer. Let's check your browser history. I rarely use this thing except for email. Well, someone's been researching conservatorship for elderly parents and signs of dementia on your computer. I felt a chill. Vanessa was here last weekend offering to help organize my office. My phone rang. It was Anthony. Dad, I'm worried about you. Vanessa thinks we should talk about assisted living options. Tell Vanessa I'm just fine. In fact, why don't you both come over tomorrow? I think it's time we had a serious discussion. After hanging up, Elena discovered a small notebook in my recycling bin with Vanessa's handwriting, listing my assets, accounts, and notes about incompetence requirements. She's planning to take control of everything you own, Elena said grimly. Not if I take control first. We need proof no one can deny. What are you thinking? I'm thinking it's time to set a trap that Vanessa can't wiggle out of. The next morning, Elena arrived with a shopping bag. Got everything we need. These tiny cameras will catch every move she makes. We spent 2 hours hiding cameras throughout my house. Living room, kitchen, office, even one disguised as a clock in the hallway. You sure you're up for this? Elena asked, connecting the final device to my tablet. Watch and learn, sis. When Anthony and Vanessa arrived that afternoon, I deliberately shuffled to the door, slightly stooped and confused. Where are my glasses? I patted my pockets despite wearing them on my face. Vanessa's eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. They're right there on your nose, Mario. Oh, silly me, getting so forgetful these days. Anthony looked concerned. Dad, are you feeling okay? Just tired, been having trouble sleeping, forgetting things. Vanessa jumped right in. That's exactly what we wanted to talk about. I've been researching some amazing retirement communities. Retirement communities? Anthony frowned. I thought we were just checking if Dad needed some help around the house. Well, clearly he needs more than that. Vanessa put her hand on my shoulder. Mario, why don't you go rest while Anthony and I look through some of these brochures? Perfect opportunity. I shuffled to my bedroom but doubled back to eavesdrop, knowing the cameras were rolling. He's getting worse by the day, Vanessa whispered urgently. We need to act fast. Once we get conservatorship, we can manage his assets properly. Conservatorship? That's for people who can't function at all. He's dangerous to himself. What if he forgets to turn off the stove? Besides, he's sitting on a fortune while we're drowning in debt. Anthony's voice hardened. What debt? You told me we were fine. Vanessa backpedaled quickly. Just the mortgage, that's all. Later, after they left, Elena and I reviewed the footage. Jackpot, Elena whispered. I called my old buddy Frank at the bank. Need a favor. Can you check if anyone's been inquiring about my accounts? The next day, Frank confirmed my suspicions. Vanessa tried accessing your accounts twice last month, claiming to have your permission. Anthony called that evening, sounding troubled. Dad, I found some weird credit card statements in Vanessa's desk. She's got 3 cards I didn't know about, all maxed out. Over $50,000 in debt. Son, there's more. Come alone tomorrow morning, bring those statements. Anthony arrived early, visibly shaken. I found something else. Old emails to her ex-boyfriend about scoring big once we were married. Dad, I think she only married me for money. I showed him everything, the footage, the tampered mail, the notebook listing my assets. Jesus, he whispered, what do we do? I've got a plan. Your in-laws are out of the hospital now, right? Invite everyone for dinner tomorrow night, one last family gathering. You're going to confront her? Better. I'm going to let her expose herself. I spent the rest of the day preparing, organizing evidence, making copies, rehearsing exactly what I'd say. By nightfall, everything was ready. Time to end this, I told Elena over the phone. Tomorrow night, Vanessa gets exactly what she deserves. I set the dining table with care, placing manila envelopes at each seat, except Vanessa's. The doorbell rang at 6 sharp. You ready for this? Elena squeezed my shoulder. Been ready for years. Margaret and Richard arrived first, Margaret looking much better, though still shaky. Thanks for having us again, despite everything, Richard said awkwardly. Anthony and Vanessa arrived last. She waltzed in, confidence oozing as she assessed the room. What's with all the envelopes? Vanessa laughed nervously. Just some family business to discuss over dinner. I served lasagna, deliberately playing up my confusion, spilling water, forgetting Richard's name. Vanessa's smile grew with each mistake. Mario, maybe it's time to discuss care options, Vanessa suggested sweetly. We're all worried about you. That's thoughtful. But first, why don't we watch a little home movie? I clicked the remote. The TV flickered on, showing crystal clear footage of Vanessa slipping something into my drink, then later telling Anthony about getting conservatorship and accessing my fortune. The room fell silent. Vanessa's face drained of color. That's obviously fake. Open your envelopes, everyone. Inside were bank statements, credit reports, and photos of Vanessa opening my mail. You've been busy, Vanessa, trying to drug me, researching how to declare me incompetent, maxing out secret credit cards. Anthony looked devastated. You told me we were fine financially. He's lying. He's senile. You can't believe... Actually, Margaret interrupted, her voice surprisingly strong. I've been checking our account since my incident. Someone transferred $10,000 from our retirement fund 3 months ago. The bank confirmed it was you, Vanessa. Richard slammed his fist down. You stole from us? Your own parents? Daddy, I can explain. Save it, Anthony stood up. I filed for divorce this morning. Vanessa's mask completely slipped. You ungrateful bastards. Do you know what it's like being surrounded by rich people while getting nothing? Mario's sitting on millions while we struggle. We struggle because you spend money we don't have, Anthony shot back. The police have all this evidence, I said calmly. They're particularly interested in the drugging attempt. Elder abuse is a felony in this state. Vanessa suddenly changed tactics, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. I was desperate. We have so much debt. Please, Mario, I'll make it right. Anthony, please don't leave me. Too late, Anthony said coldly. Officers are waiting outside. On cue, 2 police officers entered. As they led Vanessa away, she screamed promises and apologies that nobody believed. After she left, we sat in stunned silence until Margaret reached for my hand. Thank you for exposing her before she hurt anyone else. I should have seen it, Anthony whispered. All the signs were there. We all missed it, Richard admitted. She's always been good at manipulation. 6 months later, Vanessa got 5 years for attempted drugging and elder abuse. Anthony sold their house and moved closer to me. We have dinner together every Sunday. No fancy drinks, just family rebuilding what Vanessa tried to destroy. Some wounds heal. Forgiveness isn't one of them. What would you have done if you were in Mario's position? Would you have switched the drinks to expose Vanessa, or would you have confronted her directly instead? Was his revenge justified? Or did he cross a line by letting Margaret unwittingly drink the spiked whiskey? If you enjoyed this revenge story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more dramatic true stories every day. Your comments help us know what kind of content you want to see next.